Hercules and Superman really do have a ton in common. They're both seemingly incorruptibly good dudes, with incredible super strength. They come down out of some otherworldly place to Earth, and both their stories generally revolve around finding a place to belong and what it means to be a hero. Why Disney's Hercules is the best Superman movie. People always complain that in movies, Superman is a boring character, and I'd argue Hercules is how to do the Boy Scout Superman right. So let's start with them growing up. They are both raised on a farm and have a normal person as their dad, who tells them to hide their powers.
What was I supposed to do? Just let him die?
Maybe.
Hercules' dad tells them to hide him because society has literally told them that Hercules is a freak and that he should be kept away from them. Though admittedly in Superman/Man of Steel, he's using the powers as a teen to help people, while in Hercules he's kind of a klutz and just breaks a ton of stuff with them. But this makes him a lot more relatable and endearing in my opinion, in the same way that Iron Man not being able to work the suit right away does, or Spider-Man missing the jump. Also, both of them are finding it hard to feel like they belong.
This was around your neck when we found you.
This was in the chamber with you.
In both, their real dad appears to them in a fantastic fashion and basically tells them his purpose. Both of them are just to be a true hero. But Zeus actually shows Hercules warmth and is like happy to see him, beyond just being cold and fairly distant.
Your mother and I loved you with all our hearts.
Check the green, you're in love. This scene won't play. I won't say I'm in love. You're doing lips, read our lips, you're in love.
Meg works a lot better than Lois because she's actually central to the plot.
Hercules. He comes on with his big innocent farm boy routine, but I could see through that in a Peloponnesian minute.
Both are dorky Boy Scouts, a little awkward and quirky, and are just all around good guys. Also, Hercules' main flaw, if you can even call it that, is that he genuinely cares about people, and he can't see the bad in them. Unlike Superman though, Hercules is weak enough that the fights can have actual tension. Though he does win with his super strength anyway, especially the scene with the Hydra is way more intense and compelling than any of the fights in Man of Steel. In the original, Superman has no fight scenes, period.
I think I prefer Wonder Boy.
How about...
Sir?
The Hercules movie also deals with him becoming famous and loved, which Superman movies do a little bit, but this one shows Hercules is not fulfilled by being famous, and what actually makes him happy instead is love. But Meg being there to backstab Hercules because she's secretly working for Hades puts actual tension, way before just the final confrontation with the big bad.
How do you know what I'm like?
And her falling for him anyway, even against her own wishes, her seeing like just how good of a guy he is, helps the audience see that too. It also makes her a much more compelling character than Lois, and she's sarcastic and jaded, has internal conflict, but ultimately can recognize the good in him. She falls for Hercules because he's a genuinely good guy, not just because he has awesome powers and is a god.
Different. He's honest and he's sweet.
Please.
He would never do anything to hurt me.
He's a guy.
And Hercules loses his powers not through kryptonite, which admittedly I always found to be kind of a cheap narrative device, but rather by giving them away by choice in order to protect Meg. But Hades is like Lex Luthor. He has a grand plan and is smart with unlimited resources, and Superman or Hercules don't try to outsmart them. They just keep showing up and doing the right thing. But now that Hercules has given up his powers to keep Meg safe, he can't. Both Hades and Lex use the love interest to push Sup/Herc. While caring about people is often talked about as being one of Superman's flaws, it's almost never actually used narratively as a flaw. So when Meg dies, it was so much more impactful than when Lois does. She dies because Hercules was powerless to stop the threat, not because he was busy dealing with the threat somewhere else. And when Lois dies, Superman just goes back in time by spinning the Earth, which has some odd implications for his powers, also just makes him too powerful and it changes the stakes. Hercules, on the other hand, confronts Hades and is willing to risk his life to save her. And that's what ends up making him a true hero and finally grants him immortality. The saving of a love interest is a major plot point in both. It's only a heartfelt moment used to move the story forward and deepen the character in Hercules. In Superman, it's just about how Superman can brute force his way into getting whatever he wants to happen, no matter what, because he's that powerful. For Hercules, it's about how he's willing to give up everything to save her, because he loves her. Both of them are about these guys being ultimately good, but only in Hercules are those values actually shining through.
I've beaten every single monster I've come up against. I'm the most famous person in all of Greece.
Being famous isn't the same as being a true hero.
At the end of the movie, he finally gets his dream, and what he perceived would be the belonging he's been looking for the whole time, by being able to join the gods. Ultimately, he chooses to give up immortality in life with the gods that he'd worked so hard the entire movie for, because he loves her and values her more. He represents a certain set of values of putting love first and doing the right thing first. Superman is good in the movies, though it's more because he's incorruptible and never does the bad thing. Hercules will not only not do the bad, but he'll risk everything to do the good and will fight for what's right. I'm not saying Superman doesn't have that, it's just in the movies they don't really show it. Thanks for watching, be sure to like and subscribe. I linked my video on Captain America's biggest flaw over here. I linked my video on why Princess Bride's final showdown is brilliant over here. Anyways, once again, thanks for watching and subscribe if you want to see more.